Hey, it's time for Super Start Select. I'm your host, Seb Ford, joined by Jane Douglas.
Hey.
And today we're putting the writer of Assassin's Creed Revelations on the spot, as well as giving away a pile of rage goodies and sharing your wise words of feedback.
But first, the news. Today, Valve's Gabe Newell on why gaming PCs have still got it, and a word from Bethesda bigwig Pete Hines on how his crew feels about suing Minecraft maker Mojang about the name Scrolls.
News the first, you might say Valve overlord Gabe Newell, being the boss of the firm that gave you the all-conquering game distribution platform Steam, has a vested interest in the success of the gaming PC. He's not worried about consoles taking over though, and here's why. People like their PCs, there are a huge number of them, and each person gets to have one that they like rather than the one that someone else has defined for them, he told PC Gamer UK. There were 350 million PCs sold last year, so the economies of scale are tremendous, so you get great value for money. So, PC gaming mogul in I think gaming PCs are great shocker. Still, there's no denying you can customize a gaming rig, whereas you're stuck with whatever hardware Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo choose to whack into your console case, even several years into a console cycle, when maybe it's all looking a bit 2006. So what do you reckon? Hit us up in the comments.
News the second. The lawsuit levelled at Mojang, maker of Minecraft, by Bethesda, maker of the Elder Scrolls series, has been bitterly bubbling away like an acrimonious stew left on the hob. Now Bethesda boss Pete Hines has come out to reiterate they're just as unhappy as you are about all of this and will be rather glad when it's all over, thank you very much. Nobody here enjoys being forced into this. Hopefully it will all be resolved soon, Hines said. Though it looks like a classic case of David and Goliath, it's contended that Bethesda, or rather its parent company ZeniMax, has to defend its Elder Scrolls trademark here against a future Mojang game, Scrolls, lest it be the thin end of the wedge, and then before you know it, every man and his dog is bringing out Scrolls this and Elder that and Parchment Rolling Simulator Scroll Hero the other. They're not having any fun taking on a beloved indie developer, the underdog in this case, at any rate. If you haven't caught the background on this whole deal, you're in luck, because Start Select legal eagle Johnny Chiodini is sharpening his talons of justice, preparing a Bethesda versus Mojang roundup to clue you in on next week's show.
If you're anything like us, you never stop thinking about Desmond Miles, the present-day protagonist of the Assassin's Creed series.
Specifically, you never stop thinking about the exact details of his assassin ancestry, traced all the way back to the days of techno-deity alien progenitor race, those who came before.
And if you're nothing like us, well, this is embarrassing.
Still, if you're even a little bit curious about who begat who in the branches of Desmond's family tree, assassin bloodlines, and why Altair and Ezio cannot be related, get a load of this.
We spoke to Darby McDevitt, lead writer on Assassin's Creed Revelations, who kindly broke it down for us. Infographic ahoy!
Fans are always interested in knowing, because of the logic of our games, as soon as our assassin has the ancestor that leads to Desmond, has the child that leads to Desmond's bloodline, we can't watch that memory anymore. So fans are always curious, like, at what point does it stop? Like, who does he have or she have the child with to continue that bloodline? So because we have Ezio at 52 here, people are going, he's 52 and he hasn't had the kid yet that leads to Desmond. So people want to know that. And of course that doesn't necessarily mean a romance. It could be a one-night stand, but so yeah, fans do want to know these things. So we're going to give it to them this time. We did that in AC2 as well, where you have a brief Altair memory that shows, the conception of the next one of Altair's children. Right?
Wait a second. Why aren't I following Altair? I'm stuck here with Maria? Oh shit.
Of course, I mean, I hadn't actually thought of that, but it is a sort of built-in spoiler. You know that you're still playing Ezio, that he hasn't had a child yet. Yeah,
it doesn't mean he hasn't had other kids somewhere, because he's been a ladies' man for a long time, but he hasn't had the one that leads to Desmond, right?
All right. We also mentioned to Falco spoke to us at Gamescom about how Altair and Ezio, they're not related. Is Ezio a descendant of Altair?
He is not a descendant of Altair. A lot of people believe that.
That caused a bit of a stir in the community, because there was a lot of clues, or what people perceived as clues, that they were in the same bloodline. We've actually never said that in the games, but the idea that both of them have eagle sense or eagle vision led them to believe that they were part of the same bloodline. In our games, actually, in the mythology of the Assassin's Creed world, all humans have locked away in them this potential for ego sense, because we were sort of created by the ones who came before, right? And they just made us and locked this away. But at some point there was some crossbreeding, and the people that have that higher concentrations of that DNA are able to access their ego vision much more quickly, and some people have it inherently, some of these special people. So that's always been this sort of, at the back of our minds, that's how it works. But we hadn't communicated that well, so it looked like they were in the same bloodline. But the reason that we don't want them to be in the same bloodline is very, very simple. We want Desmond, who's at the apex of all this, we want him to be the convergence of a number of important bloodlines, because he's the container of all these various memories, right? If it was a single bloodline, then that means Desmond's father could have access to all these memories, Desmond's grandfather would have access, so Desmond wouldn't be as special. But if, the assassins come from different sides of the family, then Desmond is the only one who contains all these important memories, and therefore he becomes much more special. And of course, bloodlines get diluted. If it was Altair, and then it went straight to Ezio, whoever Altair married and all these people, the bloodline would get diluted along the way. But if it's a convergence of bloodlines, the line remains strong. This is a scoop you're getting right here, because I've never explained it this clearly before.
This is great stuff.
So I hope fans realize we've done a lot of thinking about this, and this is not just an arbitrary thing. Fans also think that I'm coming in and rewriting everything that Corey May did, but Corey May is still in charge. He's still at Ubisoft, overseeing this whole project with a number of other people. So fans can rest assured the franchise is still in its old good hands.
So there you have it. Enlightening, right?
You might even call it a revelation.
Assassin's Creed Revelations is out on November 15th.
Delicious feedback. It's so juicy, so mighty. It has the power to uplift the spirit, the power to crush the soul, and the power to weird us out with weird things. Some of you guys, man.
Still plucking at the vine of topical conversation for the most coherent, grammatically accurate and easy to read comments gives us great pleasure. In last week's show, CNET UK's Luke Westaway schooled Seb on the cloud-based gaming service OnLive. GameSpot user Galarian XD1 chimed in with the following. Call me old-fashioned, but I rather like having a game disc in a plastic box that I can put on a shelf. I like my collection of games, and OnLive can never replace that. Yeah, well, good luck with that, Grandad, because didn't you hear in 6 months' time we'll all be playing games streamed onto microchips in our head brains and beamed onto the inside of our eyeballs.
Although Jasper73 agrees, highlighting the issue of graphical quality from a streamed video. When I saw a preview of OnLive, they said that because all the number crunching was done at their end, all the graphics would be maxed out. Well, that obviously didn't happen. I think this is the way gaming will go, but OnLive is a little too soon, as connection speed really isn't good enough yet. I agree with others that I personally like the idea of having games collection on disc that I can shelve. We hear you, Jasper73. The graphics should be maxed out on their end, but a lot of the extra quality is just going to be lost in the compression.
On Monday's Start Select Guy brought us news that some code-savvy gamers have been haxing and modding the Battlefield 3 servers, in some cases allowing over 100 players in the Operation Metro level. Ex-Galactica X comments, although it did not really bother me, I wanted to play in a larger map with vehicles and jets and stuff. Users are right to want to play the Battlefield 3 beta in a map that allows for a larger number of people. That is one thing that Battlefield 3 offers that the competition doesn't. If they wanted to play in a map with a few people, why won't they just play Call of Duty, which seems to do that very well already. The reason why most people are playing that beta is because they are thinking about buying the game and they would like to experience the unique features that the game offers.
Well, okay, ex-Galactica X, since you're not alone, Azumba Bob does say, people wanted to fly jets, of course. They must have known they would get stick over not having vehicles in the beta, although I bet it was because they didn't want to alienate gamers from a certain other franchise.
Right, we get it.
It's high time we gave away those rage goodies we've been harping on about all week, and not only because the doctors say if I take another flying wing stick to the skull, I'll lose all short-term memory.
We asked you who made post-apocalyptic and just released you to Rage, and you told us id Software. And our winner is Dragos Popescu, really? Okay, from London. Congratulations.
It's high time we gave away those Rage goodies we've been harping on.
That's all we've got time for today, but have yourself a merry little mid-October weekend. Till next time.
It's high time that we gave away those Rage goodies we've been harping on.